Perhaps you've never thought about it, but every day, every movement you make, is a choice. And what if what you call life is actually just a mask? A mask you wear to avoid confronting what lies behind it. This video is based on Nietzsche's philosophy and will be of interest to those who dare to see the world differently. Well then, let's begin. The weak demand certainty, as if life owes them guarantees. They tremble before the abyss, whispering prayers for safety, constructing illusions to shield themselves from the truth. Nothing is promised, nothing is fixed, and the future is not a contract but a storm. Their fear is not born from the unknown itself, but from their own refusal to confront it. They seek shelter in routine, in the comforts of repetition, in the pathetic notion that tomorrow will be like today. But life laughs at such delusions. To fear the unknown is to admit defeat before the battle has begun. It is to kneel before a shadow, to surrender your will to a ghost. The strong do not cower before uncertainty. They inhale it, drink it, make it their domain. Where the weak see chaos, the strong see possibility. Where the weak crave guidance, the strong carve their own path. Those who fear the unknown remain forever trapped in the prison of what is familiar, while those who embrace it forge new worlds. What is this disease, this paralyzing terror of what has not yet come to pass? It is the confession of a mind too fragile to endure reality, a soul too timid to shape its own destiny. The weak want a script, a set of rules, a comforting hand to guide them through the darkness. But the strong understand, there is no guiding hand, no script, no certainty, only the will to act. To conquer the fear of the unknown, one must tear out its roots. Burn every bridge that leads back to safety. Set fire to the need for guarantees. Walk into the darkness, not as a victim, but as a conqueror. The unknown does not devour those who move forward with unbreakable resolve. It bends to them. It yields to those who do not flinch. You must decide, will you be among the weak, clinging to false securities? Or will you claim the right to shape your own future, standing unshaken at the edge of the abyss, daring it to move before you do? Shattering illusions. The future promises you nothing. Accept it. The world has deceived you. It has whispered into your ear since childhood, telling you that if you follow the path laid before you, if you obey, if you wait, if you conform, then you will be rewarded. That the future is a garden, and patience will allow you to harvest its fruits. That time itself is on your side, gently carrying you towards something greater. Lies. The future owes you nothing. It has no memory of your suffering, no obligation to your dreams. It will not bend to your hopes, nor will it hesitate to crush them under its indifferent march. Those who live in expectation, who construct fantasies of guarantees and stability, are sleepwalkers moving toward the abyss. They will awaken only when the ground vanishes beneath them. To accept this truth is to shatter the chains that bind the spirit. If you are waiting for the universe to provide, you will wait forever. If you expect fairness, justice, or even meaning itself to be handed to you, you are already lost. The strong do not beg the future for mercy. They seize it, mold it, carve their will into its face. Do you feel the cold terror of uncertainty creeping into your bones? Good. That is the death of illusion, the first breath of freedom. For once you understand that nothing is promised, you also understand that nothing is forbidden. There are no divine laws shaping your path, no invisible hand arranging your destiny. Only the raw force of your own will, either sharpened into a weapon or dulled by fear. Burn the idea that tomorrow will rescue you. Kill the thought that time will reward you. The only thing that exists is now, this moment, this chance to shape reality before it shapes you. The future is not a gift, it is a battleground. And those who hesitate, waiting for promises that will never come, are already dead. Reject hope. Hope is the sister of fear. Replace it with will. Hope is the lie you tell yourself to avoid taking action. It is the opium of the weak, the sweet poison that numbs the spirit and lulls it into complacency. The world has taught you that hope is virtuous, that it is the light in the darkness, the hand that steadies the trembling soul. But hope is nothing more than fear in disguise, a parasite that feeds on your uncertainty and keeps you shackled to the dream of salvation that will never come. Hope whispers, wait, be patient. Trust that things will change. And so you wait. You waste your days in expectation, your nights in longing. You tell yourself that tomorrow will be different, that fate will finally grant you what you desire. But tomorrow arrives, and nothing changes. Hope has betrayed you once again. Those who live by hope are slaves to the unknown. They kneel before the future like beggars, their hands stretched out toward an illusion. But those who are strong, those who reject the comforting lie, do not wait, do not hope, do not beg. They impose their will upon the world. They do not pray for salvation. They carve their own path with the blade of their own decisions. You must tear hope from your soul as one tears a weed from the earth. Crush it underfoot, burn it to ashes. Replace it with something stronger, something that does not tremble in the face of the unknown. Will. The unbreakable force that does not ask, but commands. The fire that does not plead for the wind to change, but burns regardless of the storm. Hope has never saved anyone. It has only delayed the inevitable. Will alone shapes destiny. Will alone bends the future to its knees. Kill hope, and in its place, let the iron of your own resolve take root. The weak hope, the strong act. Choose. Be an artist. Shape your destiny. Do not obey it. The weak speak of fate as if it were a god, an unshakable force that dictates their path. They whisper of destiny as though it were carved into stone, as though their lives were mere lines in a script written by some unseen hand. They bow before circumstance, surrendering their will to the tides of fortune. What they do not realize is this: the only fate that exists is the one they allow to control them. A true creator does not accept the world as it is given. A true artist does not paint within the lines drawn by others. To be human is to mold, to shape, to carve oneself into existence like a sculptor chiseling stone. The canvas of your life is empty, the clay of your being is formless, until you take it into your hands and give it structure. But this requires defiance. It requires the courage to reject what is and to impose what must be. You are not born to be a servant of destiny. You are born to create. Yet creation is not gentle, it is violent. It is the breaking of old forms, the destruction of what is weak, the relentless pursuit of a vision that only you can see. The artist does not ask permission to create. The artist does not wait for inspiration. The artist seizes the brush, the knife, the fire, and forces the world to reflect his will. Those who submit to fate are nothing but unfinished sketches, abandoned and incomplete. But those who dare to shape themselves become masterpieces. They do not obey life, they sculpt it. They do not follow paths, they burn them into the ground. To be an artist of destiny is to reject the passive existence of a spectator and to become the architect of your own being. Take up the chisel. Seize the brush. Do not let life paint you, paint yourself. Do not let the world sculpt you, be the sculptor. And when you are finished, let them look upon what you have become and say, "Here is one who did not obey. Here is one who created." Death is inevitable, but you are alive. What stops you? The grave waits for you. It waits for all of us. It does not rush, nor does it hesitate. It is patient, unwavering, absolute. No God, no plea, no act of defiance has ever unmade its certainty. One day you will be nothing but dust and memory, your name fading from the lips of the living, your works, if they exist at all, left to decay under the weight of time. This truth stands over you like a shadow, unrelenting and indifferent. Yet here you are, alive, breathing. The heart still pounds in your chest. The fire of existence still flickers behind your eyes. And what do you do with this fleeting moment between birth and oblivion? You hesitate. You cower. You tell yourself there is still time, that the future will offer you the courage you refuse to grasp today. You live as if eternity were promised, as if you were anything more than a brief spark in the abyss. But the abyss does not wait. It does not care for your excuses, your comforts, your illusions of security. The clock moves forward, devouring your potential with each passing second. And still, you hold back. Still, you remain a prisoner of fear, of doubt, of the foolish belief that safety is more valuable than experience. If death is certain, then there is nothing left to fear. No failure, no loss, no suffering can outweigh the finality that awaits us all. To live in fear is to die before your time. To submit to hesitation is to invite the grave before it has even called your name. There is only one answer to the certainty of death: to act. To burn with such intensity that the very universe must take notice. To carve your will into the fabric of existence so deeply that even death itself cannot erase it. So, what stops you? What force holds you in place, shackled and small, when you could be infinite? You are already dying. But for now, in this moment, you are alive. And the only question that remains is this: will you live as one who is merely waiting for the end? Or will you embrace the fire of existence and leave behind something that death can never touch? Embrace solitude. Only in solitude is freedom born. The world has fed you a lie, that solitude is a punishment, a void to be feared, a disease that must be cured. From birth, you are taught to avoid it. You are surrounded by noise, by faces, by the constant hum of society that insists you must belong, you must conform, you must always be in the company of others. You are told that only in connection can you find meaning, that your worth is tied to the validation of the many. But they do not tell you the truth. It is only in solitude, in the raw silence of being alone, that the true self is forged. There is no freedom in the crowd. There is no freedom in the noise. There is only the collective will, the voice of the many that drowns out the quiet, determined whisper of the individual. In society, you are nothing but an echo, repeating the thoughts and beliefs of those around you, held captive by the chains of expectation. You are a slave to the opinions of others, your identity shaped by the reflection in the eyes of those who judge you. But in solitude, you shed your skin. In the silence, you hear the voice of your own soul, untainted by the demands of the world. There you face yourself, raw, unfiltered, undistracted. Solitude is not a punishment, it is a crucible. It is where the false layers of your identity are burned away, where you can discover what truly lies beneath. In solitude, you are not asked to conform. You are not asked to play a role. You are free to be who you are, to think what you think, to become what you are always meant to be. It is in this isolation that you find your power, for only when you stand alone can you truly stand for something. The world can offer you nothing but distractions, but in solitude, you find the clarity to understand what truly matters. Do not fear the silence. Do not fear the absence of others. Embrace it. For in that solitude, you will find the courage to become your own master, to live by your own rules, to create your own path. The crowd may follow the herd, but the free man walks alone. And it is only in that loneliness, that silence, that you will understand what freedom truly means. Break the familiar paths. Comfort is the trap of mediocrity. You have been taught to seek comfort. The world tells you that ease is the reward for a life well lived, that if you find the right balance, if you tread carefully, you could avoid pain, discomfort, and uncertainty. Society feeds you the illusion that happiness is found in soft beds, predictable routines, and a life that flows like a gentle stream. But comfort is a trap. It is the quicksand that keeps you rooted to a life of mediocrity, never daring to rise above the common. The moment you settle into comfort, you stop growing. You cease to challenge yourself, to test your limits. You become a creature of habit, a passive participant in your own existence. You begin to believe that safety is synonymous with success. But comfort is not a measure of success, it is a measure of fear. Fear of failure. Fear of the unknown. Fear of losing what little you've managed to accumulate. Comfort breeds complacency, and complacency breeds mediocrity. The greatest minds, the most influential creators, the most daring souls did not sit in comfort. They didn't wait for the world to serve them ease and predictability. They sought discomfort, sought pain, sought the very things that terrified the weak. For it is in discomfort that we find our true potential. It is in the struggle, the hardship, the uncertainty, that we are forced to become more than we are. You have been lulled into a life of ease, but this ease is your prison. You are not meant to live quietly and comfortably in the shadows. You are meant to forge your own path, to carve a destiny with the fire of your own will. The world does not reward those who take the easy road. It rewards those who dare to blaze new trails, to face the unknown, to risk everything for the possibility of greatness. So, break the familiar paths. Leave behind the predictable and the safe. Seek discomfort, for it is the crucible in which true greatness is forged. Your life is not meant to be a collection of simple routines. It is meant to be an explosion of possibility, an adventure that takes you to the very edge of your limits and forces you to transcend them. The comfort you cling to is the graveyard of your potential. Step away from it and into the fire. Only there will you discover who you truly are. Only there will you become who you are always meant to be. Throw off the herd. The opinion of the crowd is a prison for your mind. There is a great lie that has been passed down through the ages, a lie that humanity clings to with desperation, the idea that the crowd holds the key to truth, to safety, to meaning. The majority, the herd, believes that if they all think the same way, if they all move in the same direction, they must be right. It is the easiest path to follow, the most comfortable. But in truth, the opinion of the crowd is a prison. It is a chain that binds your mind, shackling it to the most shallow and least significant truths. What the crowd offers is not wisdom, it is conformity. The herd does not think, it follows. It does not seek depth, it seeks comfort. And those who follow the crowd are nothing but echoes, repeating the same tired ideas, the same worn-out judgments, with no real understanding of their own. It is easier to be one among many, to let others decide what you should believe, what you should value, than to confront the terrifying unknown of forming your own opinions. It is easier to blend in, to disappear in the sea of voices, than to stand alone with your truth. But listen closely, and you will hear it, the voice of your own mind, screaming to be heard above the cacophony of the herd. You are not like them. You are not born to follow, to blend in, to obey. You are born to think, to create, to transcend. The herd does not ask questions. It accepts what is given. It does not dare to challenge the status quo. And so it is content to live in a prison of ignorance, blind to the infinite possibilities that await those who dare to think for themselves. You must step away from the herd. You must reject the shallow comfort of conformity and embrace the uncomfortable truth that only in isolation can the individual truly think. The crowd will never give you freedom. It will only give you permission to remain small. It will tell you what is right, what is wrong, what is acceptable, what is not. It will demand that you shape yourself to fit its mold, to follow its path. But to do so is to abandon your soul. In the silence of solitude, in the courage of your own convictions, you will find the freedom to think for yourself. You will find the strength to look at the world, not as it is shaped by the herd, but as it could be shaped by your mind. You will see the truth that the masses cannot even fathom, and you will have the audacity to act on it. The opinion of the crowd is not wisdom, it is a cage. And the longer you remain inside it, the more your mind will wither and die. Step outside, and let the world see the power of your unchained thoughts. Only then will you truly begin to live. Only then will you be free. Transform fear into curiosity. Who said the unknown is the enemy? You have been taught to fear the unknown. The moment uncertainty appears on the horizon, you tremble, instinctively recoiling from the abyss, convinced that it is a danger, a threat to your very existence. The unknown is not something to be embraced, you have been told. It is something to avoid, something that will bring pain, chaos, and destruction. But who told you this? Who decided that the unknown is an enemy? Who decided that mystery is a source of dread rather than a wellspring of potential? The unknown is not your enemy, it is your greatest ally. It is the very soil in which your greatness can grow. Fear of the unknown is not a natural reaction. It is a learned response, the product of a mind that has been conditioned to seek certainty and security above all else. But these are illusions. The comfort of certainty is the cage of the mediocre, the prison of the mind that refuses to venture beyond the familiar. Curiosity, on the other hand, is the fire that drives the mind to greatness. It is the spark that pushes you to seek what lies beyond the horizon, to dive into the depths of the unknown and pull forth the treasures hidden there. Curiosity does not shy away from the dark. It steps boldly into it, eager to learn, to discover, to challenge. It is through curiosity that you break free from the shackles of the known, that you transcend the small self-imposed boundaries of your life and venture into the infinite. You are not made to live within the walls of what is already known. You are made to explore, to question, to seek new truths that others are too afraid to touch. The unknown is not something to be feared, it is something to be conquered, something to be understood. It is the blank page on which you can write your own story, the uncharted land where you can carve your own path. Transform your fear into curiosity. When faced with the unknown, Do not shrink back. Instead, step forward with wonder, with the hunger to explore, to understand, to conquer. What you fear today is the very thing that will shape you into something more tomorrow. The unknown does not hide monsters. It hides possibilities. It does not hold only darkness. It holds the potential for you to create, to evolve, to rise above the ordinary. Fear is a cage. Curiosity is the key. And only through curiosity can you unlock the door to the extraordinary. Who told you the unknown is your enemy? It is, in fact, the very gateway to your freedom. Look back at the past. All your victories were once the unknown. You stand here today, looking back at the path you've walked, perhaps with a sense of accomplishment or quiet pride. You think of the milestones, the triumphs, the moments when you pushed beyond the limits you once thought unbreakable. But let me remind you of something crucial. The victories you now hold as yours, the ones that give you strength and certainty, were once nothing more than the terrifying, uncertain unknown. Do you remember when you first began? When you stood on the precipice, unsure of whether you could even take the first step? When every success seemed distant, unreachable, almost impossible? Yet here you are, having conquered what once seemed insurmountable, having turned the unfamiliar into something you can now claim as part of your story. All that you have achieved today was, in its origin, a vast uncertainty, a daunting frontier that you could not predict or control. It is easy to forget this as time passes. When you look back on the victories you have accumulated, they no longer seem so terrifying. You forget the fear, the hesitation, the doubts that once clouded your every thought. But it was the unknown that propelled you forward, that pushed you to step into the darkness with nothing but your own will to guide you. It was in the face of that uncertainty that you forged the strength to move, to grow, to overcome. So why do you fear the unknown now? Why do you hesitate when it stands before you, just as it did all those years ago? It was in embracing uncertainty, in facing the abyss with courage, that you created the victories you now cherish. Without the unknown, there would be no victory. Without the darkness, there would be no light. The journey itself, the struggle, the uncertainty, the fear, is what shapes us into who we are meant to become. Look back on those past victories. Understand that they were not the result of comfort or predictability. They were born from the very uncertainty that you now face with hesitation. Each step into the unknown, no matter how small or large, was a victory in its own right. And just as you overcame the unknown before, so too can you do so now. The unknown is not a force to be feared. It is the very canvas upon which you paint your life's greatest masterpiece. Without it, there are no triumphs. Without it, you are nothing but a shadow of your potential. So remember, all your victories were once the unknown. And it is only by facing the unknown once again that you can achieve your next triumph. Radically change something right now. Break one chain, the rest will weaken. You are bound by chains, and you know it. Chains of habit, chains of fear, chains of expectations. These invisible shackles that hold you in place, that keep you from the life you know you are capable of living. You look at the world around you and wonder how others seem to live with such freedom, while you remain trapped in a self-made prison. The chains seem too numerous, too strong, too deeply embedded in your daily existence. But what if I told you that the key to breaking them lies in shattering just one? Break one chain. That's all it takes. It doesn't have to be the most daunting one, the most obvious one. It could be the smallest of habits, the quietest of fears. But once you shatter it, the rest will weaken, and with them, the entire structure of your self-imposed limitations. You don't need to take on everything at once. You don't need to fight the entire system of your existence in one dramatic sweep. Just pick one and destroy it. You see, your chains are not as strong as you think. The grip they have on you is an illusion, a construction of your own mind. It is not the chains themselves that hold you, but your belief in their strength, your acceptance of their power. And as long as you remain within the comfort of these chains, you remain small, a prisoner of your own making. But by shattering even a single link, you force yourself to confront the truth. You are not as weak as you believe, and the chains are not as strong as they seem. Once you break free from one chain, you will see the others for what they are, fragile, brittle, and waiting to be destroyed. The fear that once seemed insurmountable, the doubts that crippled you, the habits that limited your growth, all of them will begin to lose their grip on you. You will discover that the chains were never truly holding you. They were only reflections of your own unwillingness to take action, to embrace change. The moment you choose to radically alter something, to act against the grain of what has been keeping you confined, you awaken a power within yourself that has long been dormant. This power is the force that breaks the chains, not with force, but with intention. One change leads to another, one break leads to many. The structure you thought was solid will crumble, revealing the truth. Freedom was never far. It was always just beyond the chain you chose to break. Now is the time to act. Pick something, anything, and break it. This single act will send shockwaves through the fortress you have built around yourself. And once the first chain snaps, the others will weaken. They will no longer have the same hold over you. And in that moment, you will experience a taste of true freedom, a freedom that is not granted by others, but earned through the radical choice to change. Know that pain, betrayal, and disappointment await you. Accept it. You stand on the threshold of greatness, yet there is something you must understand before you take that first step. You are about to venture into a world where pain will be your companion, betrayal will find you when you least expect it, and disappointment will arrive like a shadow, stretching long over your every hope. This is not a warning. This is a truth that you must accept if you ever hope to rise above the ordinary. Too many live in the illusion that life, once chosen, can be free of suffering, free of loss. They believe in the fantasy of an easy journey, of smooth roads and fair companions. But they are fools, bound by the same naive dreams that enslave the masses. Life will break you. It will tear you apart in ways you cannot anticipate. And those you trust will, at times, betray you. The very people you lean on for support will, with little remorse, abandon you at your weakest moments. You will face disappointments so deep, they will seem to drown you. And you will feel the weight of this world pressing down on your soul, breaking your spirit. But hear me clearly, this is not a curse. This is the nature of existence. The suffering you face is not a punishment. It is the forge in which your strength is hammered and shaped. The pain, the betrayal, the disappointment, these are the forces that reveal who you truly are. They strip away the false layers, the illusions you have created about yourself and the world, until all that remains is your raw, unyielding core. To accept this reality is not to succumb to despair. It is to embrace the full power of your being. It is to recognize that life does not offer the soft comforts of fairy tales, but rather the brutal, exhilarating challenges of those who dare to rise above mediocrity. When you accept that pain is inevitable, that betrayal is certain, and that disappointment will follow you like a shadow, you unlock the ability to rise from the ashes of each experience stronger, sharper, and more resilient than before. Why do you fear what will come? Is it not through the trials of fire that a soul is forged into something indomitable? Does not every great individual, every creator, every warrior, face the same inevitable tests? The key is not in avoiding pain, it is in accepting it, in using it to propel you forward, to sharpen your mind, to fortify your spirit. The one who fears pain is the one who will remain small. The one who embraces it, knowing it to be the pathway to strength, is the one who will conquer their own limitations. And remember, there is no true growth without suffering. There is no true freedom without betrayal, for it is through betrayal that we come to understand the depths of our own power. There is no lasting achievement without disappointment, for only in those moments do we discover the resilience to keep pushing forward. Accept what awaits you. Know that pain will come, betrayal will strike, disappointment will break your heart. But with each blow, you will rise higher, until nothing can bring you down again. Stop demanding guarantees. There is nothing final in this world. You live your life expecting certainty. You want guarantees, promises that the path you walk will lead you exactly where you think it should, that your efforts will bear fruit, that every step will be safe and predictable. You have been taught to seek assurances, to demand that the future be written in stone. But let me shatter this illusion. There is nothing final in this world. Nothing is guaranteed, and in that fact lies the very power of existence. The universe does not owe you answers. Life does not unfold according to your plans. The world is chaos, unpredictable, untamable, and it is precisely in this impermanence that life finds its meaning. The more you cling to the belief that there is a sure path, that if you simply follow the rules, everything will align, the more you blind yourself to the beauty of true freedom. Certainty is the refuge of the weak. It is for those who fear the unknown, for those who wish to build walls around themselves to shield them from the terrifying reality of existence. But the strongest, the most alive, the most awakened among us know that to demand guarantees is to deny the very nature of life. It is to refuse to accept the wild, untamed spirit of the world in all its unpredictable glory. What is the price of certainty? It is a life lived in a cage, a life where you constantly search for assurances, never daring to leap into the unknown. But what if you let go of those demands? What if you accepted that nothing is certain, nothing is final, and that in that very uncertainty lies the opportunity to create something extraordinary? It is in the uncertainty that we find the thrill of possibility. It is in the unknown that we discover who we truly are. When you stop seeking guarantees, when you let go of the idea that the future must unfold according to your design, you unlock the power to shape your destiny, to forge a path in a world that refuses to be tamed. The greatest achievements, the boldest adventures, the most transformative moments in history have been born from the willingness to embrace the unknown. Those who dared to step into the chaos, without guarantees, without promises, have left their mark on the world. It is they who understand the truth. Nothing is final, and everything is in motion. There is no end point, only the continuous unfolding of life in all its raw, untamed beauty. So, stop demanding guarantees. Stop searching for final answers. Embrace the uncertainty. It is in this space of ambiguity that your greatest potential resides. Let go of the need for control and certainty, and step into the unknown with the fierce courage of one who knows that the only true guarantee in life is that it will be unpredictable, chaotic, and utterly magnificent. Create your own code of honor. Fear cannot survive where there are principles. Fear thrives where there is no foundation. It clings to the uncertain, the weak, the unanchored mind. You are no exception. Your moments of anxiety, self-doubt, and hesitation are born not from the external world, but from the lack of an internal fortress. A fortress built not of stone, but of unwavering principles. What you need is not more protection from the world, but the strength of your own convictions. The world will test you. Life will push you to the edge, trying to tear you apart, to see if you can be swayed by the tides of fate. It will offer you 1,000 distractions, 1,000 excuses to bend to the will of others. It will show you how easy it is to abandon your own truths, to compromise in exchange for comfort or approval. But in that moment, the moment of greatest temptation, what will you cling to if you have no code, no principles to guide you? Fear is not the result of the unknown. Fear is the result of inner weakness, the absence of a compass. When you have no principles, you wander in a maze of uncertainty, vulnerable to every breeze of doubt and every whisper of the crowd. But when you build a code, your own set of values, your own unshakable truths, you become immune to the chaos of the world. The fear that once governed your every decision will wither and die in the light of your principles. A code of honor is not a mere set of rules. It is a declaration of war against the chaos, a manifesto of your inner strength. It is the promise to yourself that no matter what the world throws at you, you will not stray from your path. It is the knowledge that there is no situation that can break you, for you are anchored in something far deeper than the fleeting emotions or external forces that seek to sway you. Your principles are your shield, your armor, your unbreakable foundation. What is this code? It is not something that can be given to you. It is something that you must forge for yourself. It is a reflection of your deepest truths, your most sacred beliefs. It is the personal vow to live with integrity, to stand firm in your convictions, no matter the cost. It is the courage to face the unknown with confidence, knowing that whatever happens, you will remain true to who you are. The moment you create your code, fear will lose its grip on you. The doubt that once paralyzed you will vanish. The world will continue to shift and change around you, but you will remain rooted in the power of your principles. No longer will you be a leaf caught in the wind, drifting aimlessly. You will be a force unto yourself, a steady and unwavering presence in the storm of life. Fear cannot survive where there are principles, and the more firmly you stand by your own, the more invincible you become. The world may attempt to break you, but it will find nothing to grab onto. You will be beyond its reach, untouchable, because you have anchored yourself in something greater than the transient forces of fear and doubt. You will stand tall, unshaken, and your principles will be the measure of your true strength. Find what you are willing to die for. Only then will fear retreat. In this life, fear stalks you like a shadow, lurking in every corner, whispering doubts into your mind, convincing you to stay small, to remain safe, to shrink from the unknown. But what if I told you that fear in all its paralyzing power can be conquered, not by avoiding it, not by running from it, but by confronting it directly? Fear is driven by uncertainty, by the absence of meaning, by a life unanchored in conviction. But once you discover that which you are willing to die for, fear loses its power. It retreats, for it knows that there is nothing left to hold you back. When you find your purpose, when you uncover what truly matters to you, something so deeply ingrained in your soul that you would sacrifice everything for it, fear has no place. It is not an easy revelation. It demands that you look beyond the mundane concerns of everyday life, beyond the shallow pursuits that keep you entertained but never fulfilled. It requires you to reach into the depths of your own existence and ask yourself, what am I willing to die for? What is worth everything? It is only when you find that sacred cause, that fire within you, that fear ceases to have any real power over you. What is fear compared to the certainty of your mission? What is hesitation when you stand firm in the knowledge that your purpose transcends even your own life? The world may crumble around you, your body may fail, but your will, driven by this singular purpose, will carry you forward. And it is in this absolute conviction that fear finds itself powerless. It cannot bind you, for you have already faced the ultimate price, death, and chosen to live boldly in its shadow. Fear thrives in ambiguity, in the absence of a guiding principle. It festers when you do not know where you stand, when you refuse to commit to anything beyond the fleeting comforts of daily survival. But once you stand firm, once you stake your life on something greater than mere existence, fear has no grip. It retreats, slinking back into the darkness from which it came. Do not wait for some grand, mystical moment of revelation. It is within your reach now, in the quiet moments of your life, in the spaces where you can hear the whispers of your own heart. What is it that calls to you with such intensity, such urgency, that you would risk everything for it? What cause would make you rise from the ashes of despair, give everything you have, and face death with a steadfast heart? When you find that, fear will fall away, and you will know the true power of living not for yourself, but for something greater. It is in this surrender to purpose that you will find freedom, the freedom that fear can never touch. Become the one who instills fear in fear itself. Fear is the most primal force that governs the weak, the timid, the unprepared. It is a shadow that drapes over the spirit, whispering that the world is a place of dangers too great to face, challenges too daunting to overcome. It lures you into its suffocating embrace, convincing you to retreat into the comfort of inaction, to avoid the unknown, to shrink from your own power. But here lies the truth. Fear is nothing more than a fleeting illusion, a creation of the mind, a force that exists only as long as you allow it to. Now imagine this, you, the one who once trembled in the presence of fear, becoming the very embodiment of terror to fear itself. What would it mean to stand so resolutely in your own power, so unyielding in your conviction, that fear retreats before you as a meek animal cowers from its master? Imagine becoming the force that breaks the chains of hesitation, that forces fear into submission, not through violence, but through your unshakable will, your absolute refusal to bend before its grip. Fear does not know the brave. It knows only the weak and the uncertain, those who falter in the face of adversity. But the brave, the ones who have confronted their own mortality, who have stared into the abyss and walked through it, are beyond its reach. These are the individuals who have made fear their servant, who have mastered its power by surrendering to it, by stepping into its heart, and emerging from it unchanged, stronger, and more resolute. You must become that person, not through empty boasts or hollow bravado, but through the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that fear is but a reflection of your own limitations. When you face it, and when you transcend it, you become a force that cannot be shaken. You become the embodiment of something far greater than fear, the embodiment of a will so strong, so resolute, that fear finds itself at the mercy of your gaze. Fear thrives in the hearts of the undisciplined, the uncommitted, the uncertain. But when you make the decision to become something more than ordinary, when you declare that you will not be swayed by doubt, that you will not retreat from the unknown, fear is rendered powerless. In this way, you do not simply conquer your fears. You become a presence so formidable, so commanding, that fear itself trembles in the face of your resolve. When you are no longer afraid, you become the one who inspires terror. You become the force that changes the game, the one who walks into the storm with unwavering purpose. Fear will learn to bow before your strength, for it knows that it cannot hold sway over those who are already willing to face the worst the world has to offer. And in this moment, you will realize that the greatest power lies not in avoiding fear, but in embracing it fully, standing in its heart, and becoming the embodiment of the very force that once held you captive. You will no longer be the one who fears the unknown. You will be the one who makes the unknown fear you. Choose, live as a slave or step into the unknown as a creator. There exists within each of us a fundamental choice, a choice that defines not just what we do, but who we are. Will you continue to live as a slave to your circumstances, bound by the chains of conformity, comfort, and fear, or will you dare to step into the unknown as a creator, forging your own path, defining your own meaning, and embracing the chaos of life? This is the question that separates those who merely exist from those who truly live. To live as a slave is to surrender. It is to remain comfortably confined within the familiar, to choose the illusion of security over the terrifying freedom of self-determination. You live by the rules that others have set for you, by the expectations of society, by the fear of failure, and by the weight of judgment. You may have everything the world tells you need, a stable job, a roof over your head, a comfortable life. Yet, there is something essential missing. There is no passion, no fire, no creation. There is only repetition, only survival. But to step into the unknown as a creator is to abandon the safety of the known world and enter the realm of infinite possibility. It is to relinquish the comfort of certainty and embrace the wild, untamed forces of life. To be a creator is to carve out your own existence, to live according to your deepest truths, not the convenient lies that the world offers. It is to acknowledge the chaos of existence and choose to shape it, not merely to endure it. Creation demands courage. It demands that you face the abyss and step forward without a map, without a promise of success, without assurances. It is the act of embracing the unknown with open arms and trusting that through this very unknown, you will forge something new, something that has never been seen before. You will become the artist of your own life, the architect of your own destiny. When you choose to step into the unknown as a creator, you do not choose safety or predictability. You choose risk, you choose transformation, you choose greatness. You understand that it is only in uncertainty that true creation can flourish. The artist knows that the canvas is empty, but it is this very emptiness that fuels the fire of inspiration. The creator steps into the unknown because it is from the unknown that the most profound and beautiful things emerge. You cannot remain a slave to fear and still create. The chains of safety, the fear of judgment, the need for approval, these are the shackles that keep you small. When you are a creator, you transcend these chains. You choose to be bold, to be vulnerable, to risk it all for the sake of creating something meaningful, something that reflects the essence of who you are. You no longer live by the rules of others. You create your own rules, your own path, your own meaning. So ask yourself, will you continue to live in the shadows of your own potential, afraid of the unknown, bound by the expectations of others? Or will you step into the light, choosing to create, to shape your own reality, to live fully in the face of uncertainty? The choice is yours, and it will determine the legacy you leave behind. To live as a slave is to let life happen to you. To step into the unknown as a creator is to make life your own. As you step into the unknown, remember, it is in the uncharted waters that you will find your true strength. You are not meant to merely survive, but to create, to shape, and to transform. Fear will try to hold you back, but it is only through embracing uncertainty that you will find freedom. So, choose courage, choose creation, and above all, choose to live a life that is truly your own. Now go forth and let the world see the force that lies within you.